Hey, how's everybody doing? Haven't came to you in a while from our YouTube channel, so I wanted to jump on here. Sometimes we just get busy doing a lot of things and no excuse. But I wanted to jump on today and share a word with you. Me and my wife began a Bible study yesterday. We're going to continue it today. We haven't yet, but this evening we will. But I wanted to share what we got out of it, what God gave us. And maybe that's how I'll do my videos each day as we study something. The next following day, I may share what God gave us in that study. That way, if you want to study, but for your notes, if you want to take notes and go and do a study yourself, it's Genesis 1 through 5. That's it. Genesis 1 through 5 is all we used yesterday. We did a Bible study, broke down each verse, and just asked God to really reveal things to us. And He gave me a message I want to share with you. So I'll read the verses first, then I'll come back and let you know what God shared with me. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So we read these verses and we broke them down. The first thing that stood out to us, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We need to understand that God has always been here. God was here before anything. He'll be here after everything. He's the one constant from before, present, and future is God. The second verse went in to describe the earth. It was without form. It didn't have any form. It wasn't a oval shape or circle, a square, a pentagon. It wasn't any. It didn't have any shape to it. It was void. It didn't have anything in it. So it was just a piece of matter out there, or a piece of blah, whatever you want to call it. It was just sitting there, and it also lets us know that it was dark. And one thing that God revealed to me, one of the things, is this is us. This is us in our Christian walk. Without form, without God in our life, we just willy-nilly do whatever we want. We don't think of consequences a lot of times. We talk any way we want to talk. We do things that really are without structure. When God comes into our life, when the Spirit of God comes into our life, we allow it to take over our life. We begin to have structure, and we begin to be shaped into what God wants us to be, the character and our moral core values begin to form, and our life takes a form, and that's what we need in our life. And the same thing with void. Without the presence of God in our life, we'll always be missing something. We'll always be craving something. We'll always be wondering what is there something better for me? And you ever had that thought in your mind where you wonder, is there something better for me, or is there something I'm missing? And that's God in your life, because once God comes in, He fills all the voids in your life. And darkness, of course, without God in our life, man, we're headed on a one-way path of destruction, and it ends in darkness. So God showed me that, but another message God gave me in these first 5 verses that is really hits the topic of what I want to talk to you about. God saw the light. God spoke light. The first thing He done. See, in verse 5, He tells us that the light, God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So in verse 2, it tells us that the earth was dark. It was dark. So technically, in God's terms, God knew that was nighttime. He called the darkness night. So when daylight comes, when God speaks daylight into light, that would be the first day, the first morning, right? So the first thing God does is speaks light to the darkness. The first thing, and this is what God told me, and I want you to get this, okay? The first thing you should do every morning is speak light into your darkness. If you're dealing with anger, depression, anxiety, if you got drug addiction, a pornography addiction, you should speak life to it. Man, if you're dealing with depression, you should wake up, God, I'm going to be happy today. I choose joy. You know, if you're dealing with an addiction in your life, maybe a drug addiction, I would not pick up that drug today. I will stay clean today. I will reach out for help. The more you speak life, later in the chapter, we haven't got to it yet, but once we get to verse 27, where God creates us in His image, which is amazing, but we're also created in His likeness. And what's God do? He speaks light into the darkness. His word tells us we should speak to things that aren't as if though they were. And I want to encourage you today to speak light into your darkness. The first thing you do when you wake up, wake up, give God your time, and speak light into your darkness. Guys, I hope this message blessed you. And as we get into more of these studies, we're only going to study a couple verses at a time because I want to fully understand what God has. I want Him to speak to me and my wife and break things like this out. Like I've read Genesis before, and He showed me the form, void, and darkness before. He showed me how that could be our life, translated into our life without God. Because later in the verse it says, but the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. But I've got that out of it before, and I've read Genesis a lot, and I've never got that before. To start each day, we're speaking light into our darkness, and that's what God did. Guys, I hope this message blessed you. I hope you have a great day. We love you guys. If you haven't subscribed, click the button, subscribe to us, man.